I'll play the thing this time, even though it was actually a
Get
little
us,
easier to edit it in.
get us in the mood.
Mhm.
Hail them.
Hailing frequencies open, sir.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
I don't know why I keep giving alien street food a chance. It's always such a gamble.
Captain, we're being hailed.
On screen.
Hello, and welcome to another Hailing Frequencies Open podcast where we continue to trek through the past and future of Star Trek. As always, I'm your host, Mike Jones, and it is just us chickens here tonight, just us co-hosts on the call. Let's I don't know. I don't have a good joke. So, Damian.
Yeah, see, when it's just us, we get super cash. You never know what's
Right.
gonna happen. Like things might get real weird here, but you know what? We're okay with it. Hopefully you are too.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can entertain you on your bus, ride or or subway ride or drive as you listen to us. Also on the call, our co-host Lanita. Say hey.
Hey.
Oh my God.
You're wearing this cute shirt that looks like a star field. It looks like
Oh,
stars.
it's little polka dots. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I dressed kind of as a stagehand today, so I have black jeans on. I wore my black Converse, put on some Slytherin socks. Not a Slytherin, but they matched, and I said, "That's gonna be my terrific Tuesday."
There you go. I have a similar shirt that looks like it has stars on it. And I was working backstage at a show. It was a burlesque show. And do you know the term stage kitten? You know what a stage kitten is?
No.
A stage
No.
kitten is the person who goes out on stage in between burlesque numbers and picks up the clothes.
Oh.
So that was my role. That was one of my
Have
roles.
you been a
as like
stage kitten all this time and we're just learning this?
Apparently.
This was in Denver when we lived there, and like once a month I did this burlesque show just as their stage manager, and I was also the stage kitten, so I was picking up the clothes. And then after the show I was at the bar, and this really drunk woman pulled me aside and she was like, "Your shirt looks like it's covered in lint and fuzz. It looks awful." And I was like, "No, it's stars." And she's like, "No, listen to me, it's terrible." I was like, "Thank you."
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, lady.
Okay,
Thanks for coming.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. My goodness. Oh.
Yeah, that was a fun gig. I learned a lot in that world.
Did all of the clothing smell good?
No.
Okay.
Some
Is
of
that
it
Teddy
did.
Ruxpin on the bed?
It is not. That is I think
Oh,
it's Bearimy from
Troy
Build-A-Bear.
Story?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's from Build-A-Bear, but he has a Captain Kirk shirt on.
Oh, cool.
And then I
Is
have
that
the
and a
Spock.
Spock bear?
Yeah, that actually is also from Build-A-Bear.
That's awesome. I was like, the bed has grown. The decor has
Well, we had a leak in the ceiling, so the stuffed animal collection ended up moving, and there's a lot of friends under the bed right now.
See, I was going to ask if he learned how to make a tassel do a windmill, but she went for the stuffed animals. So
She did. It's good.
I mean, did you learn how to make a tassel do a windmill?
Well, no, I did not. I
feel like it's
witnessed it a
very
lot.
difficult. It's I mean, to get your tits to move independently.
Yeah. Well, just to get them to do the same direction is hard enough. I mean, it's a lot of shoulder action, actually.
Yeah, but to the same direction, easy. Opposite, like the fact, no, that got to get a gimmick.
Well, you're right. Bump it with a trumpet.
Which is one of my least favorite songs of that musical, to tell you the truth.
Oh, it's fun.
It is, but
none of the ladies or gentlemen that I worked with ever did Star Trek themed burlesque, but I know it exists.
We know it exists because our friend Luna from Bar Trek Philly has gone to Slut Trek in Boston.
Yeah.
So maybe that is our next get. It is hosted by, I feel like her name is Lucy Blue Skies. Does that sound right?
Maybe.
Sure.
And the show that Luna went to was called
things like facts.
Sorry, fact checking.
We're not fact checking. Assimilation.
Assimilation. Very
Yes,
nice.
which is a better pun in writing than it is out loud, but it is still really good.
That's amazing. So in today's episode, as you might have already detected, we don't have a guest. And our topic is
By
kind
design, on purpose. It's just
by
us on
design.
purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
don't say it
It's
like,
not like someone canceled.
cancel.
Yeah,
It's
nobody
not like
canceled.
nobody wanted to be here. We chose
No,
for it
we
to
have a
be
number
just
of
us,
exciting
queers.
guests lined up, but we thought we would take a moment, check in with
And
each
we have a
other
wait
and
list. We have
you.
people who want to come
That's
on
true.
that we don't have room for.
Just don't, right. It's going to be the next year before you hear those people.
Oh, my
We are
goodness.
booked, but yeah, so this is kind of a, status of the pod, check in. Here's where we are, here's what we're doing, and what are you doing, and where can you find us? Because I think that there might be an opportunity to go to a Star Trek convention that we're all going to.
Yes, and have you given us a 5-star review? It seems that you haven't yet, friend listening.
Friend,
Pause
just
the
click the
pod. Go
stars.
do it
Just-
now.
Just click the stars. You don't have to write anything. Just click the stars.
right?
And that's it.
At
And
the next
submit.
red light, do it.
When you park in your parking lot, when we're still talking, just click the stars. We'd appreciate
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, so let's talk about Damian. You were just on a different podcast, a totally different podcast.
I was on a
How did
totally
that
different podcast.
And how did that come about?
Well, I am out there in the world making friends, and
Famous.
Famous.
we're on a very famous, successful podcast, and people want a piece of us. No, I got a lovely invite from a gentleman named Kelvin, who is a podcast friend. He is part of the BQN network, which also hosts our good friend Davey of the Treksperts Quiz Show. And he hosts with a couple other hosts a podcast called the All Good Things Podcast, which is an excellent podcast. We recommend it. They have some actually really meaty discussions where you kind of learn about I kind of learned about the episodes, things that I don't know. And they've done like they did a deep dive into Brendan Braga, who is one of the great TNG writers who became a Voyager writer, who was showrunner of Enterprise. So they've done like writer deep dives kind of, and they do they do some really good stuff. So I was excited to get the invite from Kelvin to come on to the View Screen, which is another pod, which is primarily a YouTube. It's modeled after the View Screen, right? So it's a Star Trek magazine show that's live on Sunday afternoons at noon Eastern Standard Time.
Now you say it's modeled after The View. Do they have like a Whoopi and a conservative blonde and a black lady and a fragile old white lady?
Wait, who's the fragile old white lady?
Barbara Walters, girl.
Oh, of course. Yeah, sorry. You're right,
but I guess now it's Joy Behar because Barbara Walters.
She doesn't strike. Joy is not fragile.
She's not fragile. She is the old
fragile.
white lady, but she's not fragile.
No, she's not. She's not. No, so it is Kelvin and Amy. Amy is the founder of BQN. We recommend you check them out. They've got like when I saw their sort of like ad, like here's the other podcasts on our network, I was like, oh, y'all have there's a lot of them.
That's great.
And some of them are really niche and some of them are more general. And so it's definitely worth checking them out. But yeah, so they have this live magazine show called The View Screen. And it is, I'll tell you what, like, we sort of, I don't think it's any secret to our listeners that we kind of bank these, like you're going to be listening to us a few weeks after we're talking, right? Whereas the live aspect, like, made me a little, like, I had the air conditioner on full in my little home studio, and I was like, I'm getting a little sweaty here.
I tuned in. I was able to react in the chat live, and then they read my thing out loud. It was like, you know what it made me think of? This is going to show that I'm old and had a sheltered life. But like QVC, like QVC used to do
Absolutely.
these like
Caller.
Star Trek
Yep,
hours
caller.
where they
Caller,
had right.
caller, are you there?
Oh yeah.
I've got
We have
7
someone
of
on the
these.
line.
7 of these. And you know what? I've been waiting for the next color, and I'm so happy. We are old. QVC is a
Yes.
harder gig than you think it is.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sure.
at QVC this year in July. I was physically at the QVC headquarters.
Where
with-
is
Did you
that?
watch? Did you watch a like a taping
Yeah.
of the people like
Yes, I was there for
talking
my
incessant-
JOB, which we're still not going to name.
Correct.
And
Is that
it
in New York,
was
the QVC headquarters?
no, it's in Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So it's like outside of
Well,
Philly.
that makes more sense.
Yeah. Which next time I'm staying with my in-laws because I didn't realize they were like 20 minutes away from me. But yeah, no, QVC is like a crazy megaplex. But yeah, the view screen. Sorry, the view screen, and it's live, and we and they've got a really interesting format. They kind of like the host kind of chat, and they have a news segment. So they've got a correspondent who comes on every week and does like sort of like the news in Trek,
The news.
and
Hot
which is
topics.
always
Mhm.
actually very informative and current in a way that maybe we are not.
We're
And
very current.
I mean, I don't think we aim to be current. I think we're evergreen.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, no, I had a great time talking with them, and we I got to talk about us a little bit and what we do, and I have yet to watch or listen to it because I'm like,
It was
I'm not sure
good.
what I said, but
No, it was really good. You mentioned people that we've had on.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned about us, like who we are, what we do. It was great. I was watching it outside during a barbecue.
Oh, that's great.
Oh.
One of their guests, who I think coming up still, is our friend Misty Chance, the great Manchester
Oh.
Queen,
Manchester Queen.
who was one of our early guests. So it's and because Kelvin is in Manchester, and so
They can do it at
You
the
know,
same time
yeah,
versus having her stay up till the wee hours of the morning in full
Right,
face
in
to
full
come
face.
talk.
My God,
yes,
a legend.
Oh, I
Yes.
love Misty's
But
great.
but yeah, we're making Trek friends all over the world. So
Woohoo!
That's awesome.
yeah,
good
no, it
times.
was. I had a lot of fun doing it, and but it's funny because they have like in there. First of all, my audio didn't work, and I was like, it's live. It's like they're not going to wait for me to get my audio, so I had to like. I tried it so many times, and then I finally was like, I think I should need to try this with a different web browser, and then it worked. So
Oh,
but so needless to say, I was
Oh.
sweating when it was my turn.
Well, it didn't.
but they
It didn't show.
no.
Yeah. And they have like an on stage, off stage, so you kind of like go away a little bit and you watch. But it's funny because I didn't know what order they were going in, so I was like, "Who's the next guest? Is it?" And all of a sudden, it was me, and I was like, "Oh, hello, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk." Okay.
You
Wait,
you
that
didn't
was
get a
kinda-
like you're on deck
I didn't
warning.
get
Yeah.
a 5-minute call.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Thank you,
wait.
5.
It wasn't like when we did the what was the thing with the quark tank when
The
that
quark
was
tank.
that was sort of like we were in the waiting room like watching, but we weren't
Mhm.
like on the screen, and then it was like
Yeah.
zoop, you were brought in because that was pretty cool.
That was
The
pretty
idea of
cool.
like watching from backstage.
Yeah, and they do a really good job because so they sort of you go backstage and then you sort of like come back on and all the guests kind of like panel with each other and then you go away and then someone else gets their turn and yeah, no, they do a really good job. I had so much fun doing it and I hope that maybe at some point we can have them on.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I just want to say I was vindicated that Tasha Yar got exactly what she deserved. I had a friend. I had a
You sure did. You sure
Uh-huh.
did. In fact, when we have our great Tasha Yar summit, when we really like as though we haven't discussed this issue enough,
I know it's gonna be great.
we're gonna
I
really
think
lean
we-
into it. Yeah.
I think we should.
When we
It was
one day
great.
get Denise Crosby on the show.
Well, you know what?
So
That's going to be the surprise guest because all of a sudden Denise will appear. And
and I'll be like,
We'll be like, oh,
"Hey,
Be like,
welcome."
I hear you got something to say.
Not about you, about your character. And yes, I do. Let's
She would
discuss.
probably agree that her character wasn't being
She
written
would
very
agree.
well,
She always
right?
says, I had to die to get the best episode.
Yeah.
No, but no, Damian, you were
The
great.
links actors will go to.
Indeed. I feel like
Well-
we should link it in our little. Do we do that? Do we put little
Absolutely.
stuff in our show notes? I don't know. You do
We-
that, Mike Jones. So I
We
don't
do.
even
We
really-
don't put much usually, but yeah, we should.
I feel like these are like the things like, hey,
Yeah,
here's Amazon on the thing. Link it.
on the thing, on the view screen.
On the view screen. And actually, I mean, can we transition into the rest of that weekend?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It was a big weekend for us because we were special guests. So that was Sunday. So the night before, we were honored guests at To Proudly Go, which if you've been listening to us recently, you have more than met the great Heather Wood, New York City's own Janeway Queen.
Yep.
And we had a great time at their
Got
party.
Got me out on a Saturday night in the city.
Mhm.
What? Mind you, so funnily enough, the fact that it was that night, that's how I picked the day, like had a latent Mother's Day gift because everyone got pneumonia back on Mother's Day. And we were supposed to go on Tea Around Town, which is a cute little 90-minute bus ride where you get tea, you have high tea on a bus.
Oh, fun.
Super touristy, but super cute. Took the mothers. The plus one gave it to us. And I was like, oh, we're going to do it the night that this happened so that I'm in the city.
Oh.
And we're going to do it at 3:30 so that 90 minutes, 5 o'clock, enough time to get First Jones back to Penn Station to Jersey because the old lady said that she would come. And mind you, I invited them both to come. First Jones said, have a good time. It was like, didn't think she would come. But I said, hey, there's liquor. She said, I'm going to go home and hang out with my grandson. I said, okay.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah. So dropped her off at the train station and then we walked on down. And
I had no idea that's where you came
Barracuda,
from.
right?
Yeah, Barracuda. Yeah. That's where I came from, being on top of a double-decker bus, eating finger sandwiches and having tea and looking at New York like a tourist. It was hilarious. I was like, oh, look, the Empire State Building. Oh, look, there's this. It was
I
super
love it.
cute. It was so
Delightful.
stupid.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then got to be at Star Trek that evening, which was super fucking fun. So
Yeah,
fun.
it was really fun. Barracuda is very much like a neighborhood gay bar.
Correct.
And we met the whole To Proudly Go crew. So Neil, who we had already met, who was so great on the pod when we talked about the Orions, he was there. And we met Kylie, who was one of the other, who plays like all of the villains, the other queen.
Love.
Yeah, and Lee Ellen, who
Correct.
was the cat mom, who also hates Tasha Yar.
Oh my God.
Yep. But yeah, it was like there was bingo and there was
Trivia. Cahoots trivia that Damazon crushed and won. I was doing well, and then I wasn't. Like it was like
we almost had a 1-2 sweep.
We almost had a 1-2 sweep, and then it was like it would have validated us as like the hostess with the mostest. But it's okay, it's fine. The old lady got 1 correct.
Right, and it's like she didn't understand why she was doing so poorly. I was like, I think it's because you don't watch Star Trek. That's what it is. She's like, I can't get a single one right.
It was so funny. But come to find out, she watched the original series when it came out. I found this out in side conversation that she was having with who's the one who plays the villains?
Kylie.
Kylie. I was like, well, why the fuck you tell me? I'm down here doing the podcast, and you're like, oh, this is
She's like an original Trekkie.
Correct. I was
Who
like,
knew?
okay.
It's in the blood.
There you go. Who knew I wasn't the only weird one in the family.
But what we also, I mean, most importantly to cover though is that the show was based on the Voyager episode Future's End. Is that what it is? Future's End, where they go back to the 90s, right?
Oh yeah.
With Ed Begley Jr. and Sarah Silverman.
Sarah Silverman in the van.
Yep. And so Heather was out in like full Janeway costume, right?
Full on.
and did like the whole opening scenes and the I hate time travel part, right? And then if you remember, Janeway spends that episode in a full white suit.
Mama was
Oh,
in a
yeah.
full white suit.
That's why she was in that suit. I saw
Yes.
like, some cell phone footage, and I was like,
Yeah.
I get the Janeway wig, but now I understand.
Yes, it was a very specific reference.
Yeah.
And
It was funny.
it was funny.
It was really funny. Like she works hard. Like it is a put together like whoo.
Oh,
It's
the
it's a whole
amount of
production.
content.
Oh, yes.
It was the amount of like cutting and the volume of Star Trek lip sync that happens, and and it was really interesting because we had just had her on the pod, hearing her talk about all of the sort of dilemma of Star Trek drag, where you're like, how do you do it and make it still Star Trek, and where do you find the humor? And it was all songs from 1996.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Funny.
So,
and I'm
needless
singing
to say,
along, screaming, singing along.
Right.
Yeah. And and also you got to know that for this introverted homosexual, being brought on stage at a drag show is literally a page from one of my worst nightmares. So the fact that I was up on stage with her twice is like, Colby afterwards, he was like, I'm so proud of you. This is real growth for you.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. I mean, but let's be clear. One of the times was you winning and crushing the competition during the trivia. So funny. And wait, he didn't say your name correctly, but that's okay.
Damazon.
Damazon.
Well, I mean, it's a made up word. Let's be honest.
It is not.
That's true.
It is your name.
Okay.
I mean, he'd be like, La. It's like, okay, that's a way to say that.
La.
It was very fun. It's I will go back. Like it is a return to. It was really fun. And they have really cool merch, and the songs were great, and the performances were great. I can't wait to see what other, like, who else will perform along with her the next time we go.
Yeah.
So it's a fun night. Is there a cover?
Nope.
Nope.
The
only money we spent was tipping and buying a raffle ticket to try to win the pot, which you could take the half home, or you could donate it back so that they then donate it to charity.
Right, because
right, and it's fascinating because they create a situation where to keep the pot, you gotta really be like, you gotta like, so you can donate it. They create this whole like,
oh my god.
It's great.
So they're like, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep it or donate it? And then one of these days, I want someone to, I mean, not, I don't want, but like, come on, someone's got to win it and then be like, I'm taking it.
I'm taking it. But
Yeah.
here's a 20. Thanks. Got to go by.
Exactly. And also worth noting, my nephew Alex was there, who is in school in New York for audio engineering and has promised to help us step up our audio game. We'll see.
Correct.
Yeah, we're gonna put him to work.
Yes.
But he was, he's 20. I don't know how old he is.
He's a child.
He's a child, and he had never been to a drag show before.
Oh.
And heterosexual, though weird enough that he's of queer sensibilities.
Correct.
That he was interacting with the queens. He was like waving the ones around.
It was great.
It was great. It was great.
Baby's first drag show.
I feel like there were like two straight people. My mother and Alex. Everybody.
Yes.
The old lady was like, let me tip. Was like, I didn't stop at the bank. I'll be right back. I went to the bodega. I got you a pickle. And here are your ones. Like,
yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's get you a pickle.
Which I ate on Saturday whilst getting my hair done, which was hilarious. Like, packed all my snacks. I was like, this pickle comes in handy. It's good times. And the drinks are good. Drinks are strong. Let's be clear.
Drinks were strong, yes, and they were very generous to us with drink tickets. And then, and of course, we can't omit, they had us on stage.
They did.
And we had a video clip of our one of our favorite moments, Mike's speculation about Data's appendages with our friend Luna from Bar Trek.
Correct.
And it was a 3-minute video. And I think you'll remember I was like a little trepidatious about being like, can we have 3 minutes?
Is it that too much?
Right.
It
And
wasn't.
then
Like, are we going
it
to
sure
lose
was
the
not too
crowd?
much. No, I think we did well. I think they liked us.
I think
And
they did too.
I think it got laughs, and I think it was good. And afterwards, when she asked for our website, neither one of us knew it. And I was like, but I have a card. And they're like, well, read the card. I'm like, it's a QR code. I can't read it.
and then the boy wonder, the blonde boy wonder, was just like, here, I'm going to hand out cards to everyone.
Yes,
Every single
my
person
+1
in that
literally
bar
and
was handing out business cards. Here you go.
The thing is,
Here you
the
go.
website is just the name of the podcast. So
But here's the thing.
Right, but
is it
sometimes
hailing
it's-
frequently open podcast.com?
Oh,
or
sure.
Is it hailing,
Okay.
See, when it,
is it .net? We don't know.
we don't know.
.net.
You say it. We are
It's-
just here.
It's
That's funny.
We don't know how to do any of the practical things, Mike. We can't survive on our own.
That's why you're here.
That's not true. You edited that whole video, that 3-minute video. You do all of our amazing
Yeah.
viral videos.
Wow.
Well done.
They have yet to go viral, but we'll see. Thank you. But yes, we definitely screwed up the name of the
It was
website. But
funny.
people, I think we did all right. I think, yeah.
Yeah, we did. You'd have been proud.
Yay. I wish I could have been there. But I mean, can we skip ahead?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I am
Skippy.
getting on a plane and coming up to New York
Yep.
in November
Yay!
to go to New Jersey to Secaucus for Star Trek New Jersey, a creation convention where you can
Yes.
see the whole
You
gang.
are.
All 3 of us will be there at this. And which is
Amazing.
funny because I had a conversation with one of the 2 Proudly Go people, Lee Ellen, and she's like, yeah, we're trying to like get a table at the, trying to get at the Creation Con. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we're trying to go too. And she's like, oh, you're going to get a table? And I was like,
We're like,
we're just
girl,
trying
no.
to go. And
We
she's
just-
like,
we just
she said to me, she says, you realize you can just buy a ticket, right?
Wow. Okay, man.
and you're like,
I was like-
we're very busy people.
we are like herding cats. It is a little more challenging for us. Rest assured.
Correct.
And
Correct.
November is a very busy time
Oh my god.
It
for
is.
us in the showbiz.
Yes.
It-
The
yes.
guilt with which I submitted a PTO request for a Friday. Like I feel guilt for not working on a Saturday, whereas like taking an actual weekday off in November is like
I'm gonna be submitting quite a few of those. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The +1 has some traveling interviews that have to happen.
Mm.
And so my presence has been requested, and so life. So I'm going to be peppering those throughout November and December. Yikes!
life is
There you
more
go.
than just your job.
Yes, amen.
It is, and it is difficult sometimes to have that working where we work and doing what we do, like being in theater, like,
Yeah.
it's a different, like,
Right.
it's, I may be admin, but yet and still, everybody's there. Like right now, tonight, I had a show, and I was like, peace out, 517, gotta go.
Right.
Got
Yeah.
some people to talk to.
Yeah.
So.
It is the culture. It's the culture. You feel like a part-timer whenever you leave, even if it's
When-
at like 2 a.m.
It does, like, and
Yeah.
the funny thing is, like, you can get there whatever time. Like, okay, you got early morning meetings, fine, but like you stroll in at noon, you leave at 8, and you feel like, oh, I've worked a full day. You leave before 6, you're like,
That's-
ooh.
Even if you got there at 7 a.m.
When I tell you, all they say is, "You're leaving already?"
Really?
I've been here since
Oh, yeah.
9. No, like the kid, this, like, they're funny about it because it's always like,
yeah.
I'm always the one leaving when like staff is coming in. Where are you going? I'm like, I've been here since 9.
Right.
You're just getting here at 4. I gotta go.
Right.
And so that's the joke of it all. They know, but they just like
They
poking
know.
me about it. Yeah. Okay, November, we got a little bit of
We're going to the
some
Creation
things
Con, and I got to tell you that the list of celebrities that will be at that is big and long.
Yeah.
And is there going to be an attempt to see, do we need to update our paraphernalia so that
Yeah.
we can start?
We do.
T-shirt.
We need to get some new buttons, some new stickers, some new buttons and bows.
How about some hats? I want a hat.
Hats?
Yeah, like a
Okay.
warm, like have my little sticker on the front, like a warm lumberjack hat. No,
I
Certainly
don't
this
think I know what
exists.
that is.
no,
A lumberjack, like a trucker hat.
truck.
Oh, like
like
with the
those
ear flaps,
with the
though?
flaps,
Oh,
and the thing is in the front, so it's like right there.
yeah,
It's always
okay.
put stuff on my forehead. I guess it would be like a Russian hat. I guess I usually see.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Wow, words. You usually see it when like at wartime in like the 1920s, they're wearing those big old hats to keep their heads warm in the frosty cold mountains of Ruski.
Well, I won't be buying that merch, being the Florida resident.
No, you will not. You will get, you know what you can get? You can get a safari style hat.
Yes.
Little sun hat.
Oh.
Right there, so when you go to Animal Kingdom and you go on the safari, you'll feel right at home. Jumbo.
Or you can get one of those old lady hats with like the giant round front brim and then maybe like a little like handkerchief cord that ties
I'm going
your
golfing.
Neck.
Correct.
Oh my gosh.
Or
Isn't that people do that in Florida, right? Isn't that what Florida does that?
Oh yeah.
Drop top convertible, put the little scarf on, tie it around your chin.
But the real question is, will we attempt cosplay?
That's the real question. Well, I have a uniform, and Damian has a uniform.
But guess who does? Okay. Okay, everybody. The pressure. And you shamed me. Who didn't you? Who shamed me about that? Oh, I think it was
your mom. Your mom did. Your mom did.
My mother shamed me.
And it wasn't even like on my prompting. It was she saw what Heather was wearing. It says, that's very nice. Why don't you have one of those?
Immediately. I was like, I haven't.
Like old lady. Yes, old lady.
Yes.
Team old lady.
Always and forever. Always and forever. Yeah.
The real question is, Damian, are you going to show up with like 5 more cosplay looks because you're addicted now?
Yes,
you are. Have you already decided what else you're buying?
No, I don't think I'm going to be buying any more uniforms. I don't.
Don't you want a Bashir uniform? Don't you want to be?
I already have that.
Oh, okay.
It's also a Dax uniform. They wear the same uniform.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, things are happening.
Uh-oh.
Things are happening.
Mike is introducing props into this audio podcast.
No, he had to open the door for some reason, or close the door, or
I had to close the door. There was like a gunfight downstairs on the television, so I closed the door.
Like downstairs in your neighborhood?
Let's hope that it's
I was like, wow,
on the TV.
We're gunfighting? Hello? No, let's not do that.
But on the short term, what we're excited about is we are going this weekend. We are going to be guests. Have we said this while recording yet that we're going to be on?
No. We're just going in like some not order of things that have happened and that are going to happen.
Right.
So here we go.
Sorry, I've just gone rogue and changed the topic. We're going on. We're going on the Treksperts Quiz Show.
No,
again.
We're going back. Oh, sorry.
Back. We're going back to the Treksperts Quiz Show with our dear friend, the very handsome. Let's agree about that, Davey. We all have a crush on Davey, at least.
Absolutely.
Maybe not a lot, but
no.
The
men folk do.
The men folk.
And it's the quiz because we're at the anniversary. Is it what anniversary are we of the premiere of Encounter at Farpoint, the first episode of Next Generation? We're at some kind
30. Oh gosh, he said it.
He said it. I was like,
we're already
awesome,
you guys.
Well, what's 2024 minus 1987?
Why are you asking me to do math?
Here, I'm.
In any case, the topic. While Mike does that, the topic is season 1 of Next Generation.
which
Yeah.
I've got to repound down my brain gullet before Saturday.
What
Because
is your favorite season 1 Next Generation episode?
oh God, I don't know. Encounter at Farpoint. I don't know 1 and 2. No, I don't know which my favorite. See, this is why I have to. Okay, hold on. Let me go to
Well,
the
I
season
just
1.
rewatched Angel 1 right before this.
Oh, did you?
Um, and just because I haven't watched it in a long time.
I enjoy
Um,
Justice.
I like Justice too.
I actually I really like that episode. Like I'm not being funny about it. Like I do like that.
Yeah. It gets a lot of hate, that episode. I don't know
It sure
why.
does.
Well, yeah. How many episodes is this?
I like the Edo.
26? God, that's 26 hours. That's a lot.
Oh, they're only
I can
like
do it.
48 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. As I'm scrolling through the situation, I do. Oh, you know what, Chelsea? I like the one with Loxana when she first comes on. Is that Haven?
Haven.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like anything with Q in it because he's a weirdo. So
Well, also
Yeah, he
Haven is
pops
one
up
of
a
the
couple
first
times.
episodes where we start getting comedy with the gong, right? With
Yes.
Mr. I want to say Mr. Mott. No, it's
Mr. Home.
Mr. Home.
home and the bag that's so heavy that no one else can lift, but he's just like, and feather. Like,
Yes.
what's in there?
So good.
Ma'am?
It's so good.
What is in there?
Is that the one where Picard comes to dinner and brings a bottle of wine or something, and Mr. Holmes just drinks the whole thing like it's for him? Like,
Yes. Or that could
Amazing.
also be the season 2 episode where she comes.
it could be the
Comes
season 2
back.
episode. I don't
Well,
remember. Manhunt.
Haven, this one is the caught between her feelings and her devotion to family custom when she faced with a prearranged marriage. You know, this
Right.
is when we, yeah.
Yes.
Great-
Also,
great
you know
episode.
who is a guest star in this episode? Armin Shimmerman, who plays Quark.
Oh yeah, he's a little
Oh.
cameo.
He
As-
is the gift box with the face.
Mm-hmm.
Right, as the luggage, as the gift
He's
box.
the,
Well,
he's
not really
the wedding
luggage.
announcement.
Yeah.
I love that in Lower Decks when one of those comes back and then is somehow made sentient for a second. Like,
Oh,
Anyway.
the
Like, it
box
gets-
when they
yeah.
when it was in the evil room with
Yes.
peanut hamper
right.
and it just
It's that
turned blue
episode.
and then you'll just be good if you turn blue because
Right.
red is evil. What we're gonna learn here is that again, I'm gonna lose. My goal is to at least have more points than I had last time. I think I had 1, so I'm going for 2 points.
You have
but
a
he
few days
asked-
to binge some episodes.
Oh my
of
God,
the
he
first
asked
season.
such obscure questions though.
He
They're like
does.
such on episode in symbiosis. Picard looked into the view screen 25 minutes in and said, "What the fuck if I know?" And then Damian, ting, he said, "Mr. Worf, please come to the bridge." Like, how?
Oh my God.
How? This is how I felt. It would be like-
Okay, here's a question. All right, so we're gonna do some practice questions. All right, what does Luoxana Troy call Mr. Worf?
I don't know.
Ding.
Mr. Mike.
Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. There's an answer. He's never gonna ask that. He's good.
It's
I'm telling you, I love how I truly am in awe about the questions and the fact that you all know the answers to them. Like, all jokes aside, yeah.
well, and
it's
a hard
really
show. Like listening to other episodes, like I'm really not great with names. So when they ask, like, you know, what planet did blah blah blah, and I can describe the planet, I can describe the episode. I don't know what
Yeah.
planet it was, or alien of the week. Like I don't know the names of
Mhm.
like, you know, but I can tell you all about them. Maybe I could tell you what
maybe.
Broadway show the actor was in.
And see, again, it's the greatest ever.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the thing about trivia is that it is like
Trivial.
it's not necessarily a test of knowledge. It's like
No.
or understanding. It's
Right.
like
What's
a
stuck in your-
test of a very narrow strip of like
Yes.
Correct.
you know.
Correct. I will say though that like to start a new series, like Encounter at Farpoint 1 and 2, like I can watch that 2-part episode that they've, suck into one on streaming services over. It's such a good episodes of TV. It's like a great introduction into like this new crew.
Mhm.
I think that it's a way to start. So it's going to be fun when we get to go on and I get trounced is the word I wanted to say, by my co-host. It's going to be great. I'm going to go for I'm going to go for a solid 3 points.
Right, but you know what? You also had the best viral moment.
That's true.
That's what you're going for. A bush.
I mean, it
Was it a
seemed
bush?
so.
It was a
so
president
correct.
question, right? Like what
Yes.
president
Which
visited the set?
which president visited the set? And she says a
A
bush.
bush?
Was the real answer Jimmy Carter? Reagan.
I think it was Reagan. I think
It was Reagan.
Yeah.
Which makes sense logically, but I go with a fucking bush. Like,
well, that also makes sense.
Bush makes sense also. Bush makes as much sense
many
as
more
that.
years.
No,
well, although
I feel
Reagan
like
was
Reagan
a Hollywood person, so he probably visited a lot of sets.
Hence why that logically makes sense. Oh, Vulcans would be so upset with me, but it's okay. So that's going to be fun on Saturday.
Yes. And what's the date on that? Because
the date
I think
is
it might have already passed when you get this episode, but if you go to
it'll be October 5th that we go
October 5th,
we're going on. And
so if you go to their
he doesn't do it
YouTube,
live. Does he do it live?
I think he does it live.
Oh, does it? Oh, yes, he does.
He
because
does it
we
live
made
on
it
YouTube.
watch.
Yeah. But if you're listening to this after, because I think this is coming out after,
it will.
Go to YouTube and look for Treksperts Quiz Show, and we're on the one from the 5th of October, 2024.
Correct. You'll see our faces in the logos.
See our faces.
It's good. Okay. Yay. That's in a very recent.
That's coming up. That's like
future.
very
It's in the very
near
distant
future.
future.
That's
Near
just
future.
that's this week.
It is. In 4 days. Got a lot of work to do.
And we have a big oh no, Mike, you go ahead. Steer the ship, Captain.
Do we want to allude to episodes that we'll be releasing later? Interviews that we have coming up?
Yes, I think that you should allude because I always say too much. So
that is true. Allude away.
We are really kicking it into gear into getting more guests on the show, as you've noticed over the past few episodes.
Come to find out, if you ask people,
they say yes.
They say yes.
Yeah.
Sure. What's your schedule?
Right.
I'll make anything. Oh, okay.
I wasn't ready for a yes. Oh.
Stars, they're just like us. So we have a couple actors who have been in some Star Trek coming on the show, and some Star Trek content providers, which we've had on the show many times before, content providers, but this is a whole new one that we've never had on. And and some other just friends of the pod that we've met at other conventions and things like that. It's so really stick around, and I think that we've got some great stuff coming up for you.
And I think that we're continuing because I think what we always end up talking about is if we have a running theme is people who build community around Star Trek, and I think that is I think that we've got a bunch of people in the queue who are doing just that.
Absolutely.
In many different ways. And it's very exciting to talk to them, to see the ways in which they are and how it all fits into the huge puzzle that is Star Trek universe.
Right.
And there's at least one that I'm a little bit in awe of in a way where I'm a little nervous. So
I like the nervousness. It's going to be great.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Just extra powder on my face because I'll be sweating.
No, you just get a little fan just so it's like gently blowing around. So it's like you put it on like the rotate. So it's like you just get a constant little
like a Beyonce fan. So
you don't need that much power. You don't have hair anymore since you've chopped it all off.
He has hair, just not flowy locks.
Exactly. That's
he has more hair than me.
That that was me censoring. Look at that. Aren't you proud?
You censored? What?
Oh, because my first one was, well, that's not hard, Mike Jones. But you know, it's all good. That's
amazing.
What? Listen, here's the big question, right? Like, what for you all? Like, there are so many podcasts of every genre, of every ilk. It's like, you have an idea, you get a mic, you start talking. What do we think we could like that we haven't heard, or like what hasn't been sort of delved into, talked about? What side of the Trek universe is sort of unexplored?
Oh, I have an answer to that pre-prepared.
What is the answer?
The answer is the filthy side. Because I feel like we had when we had Sean Farrick on almost a year ago now.
I know.
Oh wow,
right?
really?
We need to have him
Well, it was
back.
December, so it was 10 months ago.
Oh yeah.
We it I think that we sort of, by virtue of how we thought it was funny, we kind of stumbled into this sort of idea that was kind of a weird comfort zone for all of us, which is like nerd sexuality. And and that is and it's ripe for comedy picking for sure, but not even just that, it's genuinely fascinating, all of the ways that because I think so many of us I'm speaking hard for myself, really, have, compartmentalized our lives, and we've compartmentalized our Star Trek fan self, and we have compartmentalized like our sexy pervert self and our work life and our, and it has been really interesting to hearing Sean talk about why he wants to like mix his porn and his Star Trek was actually really interesting to be like, I want to be my most authentic self all of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think we got more of that with Luna from Bar Trek.
Absolutely.
Talking about her, because she just is a tremendously sexual creature and very uninhibited, and if she has an internal struggle with shame, it is not evident.
No.
It is she seems to have conquered shame in a way that, most of us could learn from. And that was, to me, was a very fascinating sort of like look at the intersection between sci-fi and sex, and Mike with his fuck machine robots, and also the moment that I almost missed, I think I missed it when we were recording it, was that only the women on the pod knew the brands of the machinery, and then Mike and I got caught looking like totally ignoramus.
Okay,
you're like, what are you talking about?
I googled the brand that you mentioned, and it is not what I was talking about.
Oh,
but so I think that there's two different kinds of fuck machines.
Are you talking about the one that people put on? They put it on and it just ding ding ding. Yeah. See, that's not
not for girls. Right.
No, that's for men to be like, oh, look at this. That Fabian situation, like, and the thing is, back in the day, on the HBO, there was a thing called real sex, and that's how you learned about.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But no, but we're old, so yes to us. But people are like, what are you talking about? Like,
do you remember Sex in the 90s?
How we knew what a furry was?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, that's how I learned.
Yes. Yeah, that's how I learned about tantric.
In the days before the internet.
Before the internet, you had to watch late night on
cable
HBO
TV
to figure out what the hell was going on. And that's how I learned about those real dolls that people paid thousands of dollars for back in the 90s, and thousands of dollars was a lot to like
getting bigger and bigger or more popular.
They're making them sort of like automatons. No, thank you. Like where it talks and it blinks and it I saw iRobot. No, thank you.
We're getting close to having a fully functional and programmed in multiple techniques commander data.
Correct. Someone's going to build it, and then it's going to go on sale for.
If you build it, they will come.
They will come.
I want to get back to something Damian said.
Yes.
Because I think you're right. What we offer is or what we can cover is a section of Trekdom that is the dirtier, kinkier side. But it also comes back to community, because wouldn't it be nice to be your authentic self at both a Star Trek convention and like a gay pride parade and like the Folsom Street Fair, which is like a sex positive, originally really started by like the leather community, but now it's like much more than that. You know what I mean? Like these are groups and communities where I think people can walk in and suddenly feel like, oh, I'm not the only one, you know?
Yeah.
Because you feel so alone. At the end of the day, every person feels like they're alone in this world, and then you're like, oh no, there are other people. Like, oh, I'm the only one that thinks this way. I'm the only one that's attracted to this type of thing. I'm the only one who has this weird little fetish. But guess what? You're not. Like, yes, you're an original one of one, but there is someone else who may have those same desires, those same sort of thoughts, and is looking for someone to connect with so that they feel not so alone. And that's what I mean. Like, it's really interesting. Like, I love talking to Luna. I love talking to Sean. Like, I can only imagine the swath of individuals who have this same sort of ideal, and we can be like, hey, you like Star Trek? You like sex? You've melded it together? Let's chat about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think also what you're saying also applies to just like being queer and liking Star Trek. You know, like and I have we talked about this with Heather Wood, that I'm, you know, I go to a gay bar and in New York City, and it doesn't always feel like I belong there, that those are my people. And that, you know, you throw Starfleet uniform in there and suddenly it all makes a little bit more sense.
You're like, oh,
that's amazing.
Yeah, these are my people. I mean, it really was. Barracuda was really fun. Like, I really will be back out again when it gets not too cold, maybe before the winter truly hits.
Next time you have a high tea bus gift certificate.
No, you know, the thing is, I don't even need to do that. I would get on the train solely for the Barracuda.
Yeah, no higher praise than the you know,
getting on New Jersey Transit into Manhattan on a Saturday,
the bridge and tunnel crowd coming in
on a weekend schedule.
Right.
Oh my God. Well, listen though, I would probably even enjoy it more doing that again and not being an honored guest, just being like
absolutely,
there
just
and
being
hanging
there.
out and like seeing you know, like seeing all that gang again. Because also I feel like we'll see them at the very least at the con in November. And you know, and it is you know, and when the evening ended, like we had to go get food. We were starving. I had to, you know, we had friends with us, and like, but I didn't want to leave. You know, I was like, oh, I love these people. We were having such a good time, and
it was cool seeing regulars and like new people, and like, oh, you've got, you know, you get so many tickets, you win a coin, and it's like, yeah, I've got like 5. It's like you, dude.
Yes.
Like, I probably win trivia, but who's this kid taking over?
You know what we're not doing this year is a Halloween episode.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
Because we have 2 guests right in a row, the 29th and the 30th. By the way, the 29th is my half birthday, to be clear.
We'll get you a cake.
Right.
Yeah, no, don't.
And we'll just eat it on the Zoom.
Correct.
In front of you.
But none of them are spooky. So
yeah, none of them are spooky. Yeah, like yeah, we can't well, I guess we don't know. Maybe some of these guests are obsessed with Halloween and we just don't know. We should ask.
We should ask.
We can ask. Yeah.
What is your favorite? Name your perfect date. April 25th. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. All you need is a light jacket, really. Sorry.
Well, the Star Trek convention connection there is, of course, that was said to William Shatner.
Correct.
In that movie.
Oh, she's got styling.
And you know, we like, and we keep putting off these sort of mega episodes that we are talking about in being like the Tasha Yar summit, where we really hash it out as to why queer men love her and queer women hate her.
And I don't hate her, I just don't like her.
Right, no. I know.
Strongly.
It's taken on to a degree of hyperbole.
I love it so
the whales
much.
Episode.
Correct.
We whales.
Yeah, I refuse to go any further.
Well, the question is, are we watching it? Are we like doing a watch along and recording it? Or are we watching it separately? Are we watching it together and then talking about it after and recording the discussion? Because I want to be there when you watch it.
Exactly. I feel like we should do a watch along, and then it can be like Damian will edit it such that it's like, here are the highlights of the watching, and then we can have a discussion afterwards. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I like that.
I full on want to watch it with you all because I just do.
Right.
And then it can be like, oh, that, and be like, pause. Okay, now, so why did it that? And okay, we're going, like that type of deal.
And you're
I
not
think
going to
that
need
would be
any
fun.
decoding, because you have to know that this was the mainstream Trek. This was like the mainstream hit that was like people's way in to Star Trek. Like, there's not a lot of decoding to do. It's straightforward and you're going to get it. There's nothing like...
There's not a lot.
Oh, not even that. I'm not going to get it, but just like, the one thing about me, I enjoy...
Yes, tell us one thing about you.
When it comes to movie watching, number one, if there is a like a secret or like a whodunit, I'm gonna know it. Like, it just, for some reason, like my sleuthing skills, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm an only child, I figure stuff out very quickly. And so I'm just excited to see the story. Like, all I know is there are whales, maybe not. All I know is like it's 1984, like they all have. And honestly, I think I may have watched like the first 10 minutes of it and then was like, I got to go to something else. And not because it wasn't interesting, but because I was doing something else. So I'm just excited to watch it and for like this whole thing to unfurl. And then I can continue on down the trek and sort of finish out my movie watching. And then maybe we have a little movie series where you all rewatch.
Yeah.
And then we discuss. And you coming from having seen it so many times before and me seeing it fresh, being like, oh, that's what that means. That's where that comes from, type of deal.
Well, it's quite a ride starting at Star Trek 4 and moving forward. So,
because the first ones were
that's
great.
a great idea.
I enjoyed 1 through 3.
Yeah, I mean, and you're 2/3 of the way through a trilogy. 2, 3, 4 is a trilogy.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like the Spock trilogy.
I feel like these could be like this very special episodes.
Yes.
Lanita watches movies. Mike Jones and Damian.
Well, and I feel like we're gonna have some friends of the pod come back and join us for these.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. Well, I think that is our check-in, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel checked in, you guys.
I do. I mean, aside from what we discussed, anything else that we're excited, or is there anything aside from what was mentioned at Comic-Con? Not Comic-Con. What's the con of the con that happened a long time ago that we talked about? Has any new word come down the pike about anything coming out in the recent, distant, near
I don't think
future?
we've learned anything significant recently.
Yeah, we're kind of in a dark.
Limbo?
We've got Lower Decks
Right,
coming out. Lower Decks premieres this month, though.
Oh,
Am I
right.
wrong?
Yeah.
Oh. And then that goes into Strange New Worlds, which then goes into Section 31, which then goes into Starfleet Academy. Am I getting the order right, Mike? Do you feel?
I think you're right. October 24th is when Lower Decks comes out.
Here's the
Season
deal.
5.
I know we're evergreen. I know we usually don't, talk about the currency of the currency. But being that this is the quote unquote last season on Paramount. I know.
You're twisting the knife. You're twisting the knife. Mike is suffering here, and you're twisting the knife.
I'm so sorry. Can we do like a, figure out how many episodes there are and do like a slice it up like of episodes 1 through 3, and
Absolutely.
then like episodes 4 through 6 type of deal, and then the big finale, like pepper them in is what I'm saying. We should because I want to talk about it with y'all.
Yes, and we should talk about it in a fairly current kind of way as well.
I want to talk about it with y'all.
Yeah,
to be like, oh my God, this is what you predicted. It actually happened. Ooh, didn't see that coming. Oh, what's going to happen next?
Absolutely.
And because we don't have to power through them, we can actually just watch them in real time, and then maybe rewatch before we discuss.
Well, maybe we start releasing more than every other week,
Well, I feel like we've got a lot of episodes that we're recording this month
I'm so
alone.
proud of us.
I know.
I showed the
I'm
plus
excited.
one. I showed the plus one. He was like, y'all are recording every week. I was like, well, it's
And twice in 1 week.
I know. I was like, it's like, we're doing it because holidays come up and people get busy, and this is what you do. You have stuff in the can, and you can just, especially
That's
when
true.
they're interviews and things and that aren't current things, you can pre-record, quote unquote, and then throw them out there when you need to.
Absolutely.
Yay, scheduler.
But
Yay,
how do
Captain.
Kelpians age?
Do
Do they get hairy? Does their skin start to sag?
Thank you all for listening. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. You can find us at
Actually do that, guys.
HailingFrequenciesOpen.com.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, what was it again?
5 stars.
I was talking. No. Mike, he just said the website, and again, we missed it.
HailingFrequenciesOpen.com. That's it.
Okay. Hailing
Could not be easier.
Could not be easier. And that actually takes you to our Linktree page, where you can
which
find
isn't
everything.
just for porn.
Which
those link trees are
collabs
very
and Linktree,
interesting.
not just for porn.
Yeah, are very interesting. When people
showing my
go to
hand
my
here,
link
guys.
tree. Are you?
Oh my God, Mike is trying to close the show.
If, there's no spicy link. Okay. Thank you all, and we love you. And I will say, hailing frequencies closed.
No goodbyes. Just good memories. Hailing frequencies closed, sir.
What the fuck is that thing?
Was that like blueberries? Was it a little duck?